I'll set a timer. Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Charu, a yoga coach, and we're here with everyone in VivekBGaur from Rishikesh, India, who's a yoga master and more. And today we're doing a beautiful webinar on celebrating International Yoga Day 2022. And it is also Father's Day today. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And we are going to talk about, thanks everyone for joining us and taking out the time to be here. We think it's great. The more, the merrier. So we will be interactive in today's webinar. So I think that we're going to continue our talk, right, VivekBGaur, from what we were speaking about last time we started the Gita series, and we were talking on a couple of topics. So one was that, you know, is the Gita a religious book or a spiritual book? And, you know, we got the answer that it is actually a spiritual book that anyone can read. So no matter what your background, your culture, your religion, anyone can read this book. So there's no hesitation to go out and buy it on Amazon or wherever you find it. So that's one, is that, you know, it is a book of spirituality that you can gain from. So maybe we can expand a little bit on that. And then the other topic that we were saying is that in the Gita, you know, they talk a lot about your karmas. So your action, your work, your effort that you're putting in this lifetime. And I think that would be an interesting topic to also extend and expand on, because I guess, I know this is a question that many have, that at some point, you know, we keep going, we're putting in our effort, but sometimes we feel drained. Sometimes we feel like we're getting burnt out or we're losing our juice, you know? And what would you suggest we do, that everyone do in those times? So let's talk on these two topics where we can expand on the spiritual book, and, you know, when you are doing your action and efforts, and when you start to feel a little burnt out, what can one do? So however you want to take it over and start.
Okay, thank you. And it's very interesting question you have asked. First of all, I want to congratulate and thanks to everyone who is here, and also for the celebration of 8th International Yoga Day. Actually, it is on Tuesday, but that's a working day, so we thought, why not to do it on weekend? And as you said, it's Father Day also, people are celebrating in some countries. So also to every father, because this book also I see like a father to me sometime, you know, because who is father? Who guide you, who nourish you. So I read this book from childhood, but since last 13, 14 years, I'm reading it very frequently in my classes and, you know, lectures, and I understood it actually now, I should say, because in my childhood it was only the meaning that, okay, this is the verse, if this will come in exam, we will write this meaning or this answer. Only that was understanding. But what is it telling really, that I understand now? So many people think that even in India, you see, there is a large community of different religions, especially Muslims and Christians and other religions also. So they don't want to read Gita book, I think, because they think it is a religious book and only should be read by Hindus. As I think most Hindus don't read Quran, don't read Bible. Most Christians may not be reading Gita book or Quran book, I think. So similar way they understand it like this, that Gita, because of the picture you have shown, that picture is of Krishna and Arjuna. Yes.
Yeah.
So because of this, yes, because of this picture, many people think, oh, it's a religious book of Hindu people. But as far as I understand it, it is not a religious book. Just their name a religious way, you can say that there is a dialogue between Arjun and Krishna. But if you say Arjun is you and me, we are Arjun who have questions, doubts, problems, worries, tensions, who may get depressed too. And then there is Krishna, or if you don't like this name, you can say a divine, who is having the capacity to answer you, to clear your doubts, to give you different angle guideline from different angles. So if you see this book in this way, it's a spiritual book because it's a book to know yourself, to connect with your own self. And spirituality is coming from the word spirit. Spirit means soul. To know your own soul, to know your own self. That's a spirituality.
Right.
Religious book is a religious book. If it will be a religious book, then it will be telling you some kind of faith system to follow.
And just to clarify, Vivekji, for the people who don't know, so the whole book is a conversation between two people. And
Yes.
those people is Arjun, who happens to be all of us, who is the seeker, who's inquiring about life and asks all kinds of questions about life, to Krishna, who you can also call divine energy. So the whole book is a conversation, a dialogue between these two. So for the people who, just to bring some clarity there. Right. And what you're saying is we are all the Arjuns asking the questions, you know, what should I do when this happens? How do I handle that? And then Krishna, the divine energy, is answering Arjun's questions.
Yes. So the main thing is, if you are asking question to anyone in general life, then you should give the authority to the person to whom you are asking the question. If you will feel the authority of that person, that this person is able to answer your question or able to clear your doubt, then only you will be able to listen to him or her. So in order to follow, later you see, you may be agree, you may not be agree, that's a different thing. But first you have to listen what answer other person is giving to you. When we are a child, we ask questions to our parents, mother, father. Whatever they answer us, we believe. Whatever they answer us, we believe. Because we say they are our mother, father, they will not give us wrong answer. You give the authority, you give that faith in them. So the similar way, if you give this faith to this name Krishna, for Hindu people is a god, but I see it like a divine consciousness or supreme authority who has the ability to answer our question. Then we just listen to him. Later, if you are able to understand his answer or his suggestions or his answers or what, that's up to you. How much you are able to understand, even in regular classes, when you go to study in the school, you ask a question to their teacher. Sometimes teacher answer you, you may not be able to understand. You ask again, then you may not be able to understand. You ask question again, then you may not be able to understand. So you keep asking many times. So same, and sometime you are able to understand in one time. Just one time he answer, you understand. Sometime you ask again and again, and then you are able to understand. The same way, in this book, you study, you read, you study, you listen, you read. More and more time you will read and study. More and more clarity will come to you. More and more understanding will come to you. To know yourself. Spiritual book is the book which is able to make you understand about yourself.
Right. Does anybody have any questions? You are welcome to jump in if you have any comments, thoughts, questions.
मैं क्यों सी सक में
Okay. Lita, if we can just ask if you can just mute yourself, that would be great, because we're hearing the background noise. So if Lita, you can just, thank you so much. Thank you. So, you know, if anybody, I was saying, if anybody has any questions, then you can unmute yourself and ask if you have a question or comment. What we're talking about for the ones who have just shown up is, you know, that Gita can be read by anyone. Doesn't matter what your background is, what your religious beliefs are. It's a conversation between two people, Arjun and Krishna. We are all the Arjuns asking the questions to Krishna, who is the divine energy. And to add to this, Vivekji, what I like about this book is that, you know, Arjun is very, he's like Curious George, you know, so he doesn't stop. So he keeps asking and asking and saying, oh, no, but why this? And like, how come? Why that? How come I have to do this? How come not that? So, and that is our minds, right? That's all of us.
And to answer the second part of your question, which you asked in starting, that the Gita book says that you just do the job, your action, and don't think for the result. This is a confusion between people, and the people think how it is possible that you just do things and don't expect anything out. But here people, in my view, people understand Gita in a wrong manner. Because Gita say, okay, you just do the action, perform your duties, and don't expect the result. Does not mean that result will not come. Does not mean that result will not come. Result will definitely come. Only three types of result can come. Result to which you are agreed, result to which you are not agreed, or mixed result. Some part of the result you agree, some part you are not agree. Only three types of result of any action, and every action can come.
So agree or not sure. Agree, not agree, or not sure.
Mixed.
Oh, mixed.
Mixed. Some part agree, some part not agree.
Right.
Result is bound to come. So here people misunderstand Gita teaching. If Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight, because it is his duty as a warrior to fight in a war. It is a duty of a soldier to fight if he is being put into a war. Okay. So Arjun is not fighting because of certain confusions which we see in first chapter. And then if he is motivating him, if he is answering him to fight, he is answering him to fight and win. He is not saying that you fight and you will be losing. He is saying, even if you lose, doesn't matter. Even if you win, doesn't matter. But do your duty, which is to fight. So because I will lose, I should not fight. This question should not come. This is the main understanding of the Gita's karmanyavadikaraste ma phalesu kadachana ma karm phal heturvu te sangatso karmani. Means just doing your action is in your hand, not the result. Means result is not in your hand. Does not mean that result will not come. Result is bound to come if your efforts are sincere, dedicated, honest, and as per your given duty with your best capacity, then result is bound to come.
So in the Gita, so when you talk about Arjun has to fight because he's a soldier, so he has to go into the war, and he has to be on battlefield. So that battlefield that we're talking about is really the battlefield of all of us and our emotions up and down and our mind up and down. Is that right?
Yes, it may be your emotion. It may be your relationship, it may be your day-to-day life, it may be your job, it may be anything. The battlefield may be anything.
Yeah, so the battlefield is symbolic of our minds and what,
Yes.
because we're all in the battlefield of life.
All the time. All the time we are having question what to do, this is happening, what to do. Now Corona came, job left, I have no job, what to do. Now I am not happy in the job, what to do. Now I am doing more duty, but my expected result is not coming, what to do. This is all battlefield. Battlefield is a symbolic way you can understand. That struggle in our mind.
Yes.
In certain situations.
Anybody have any thoughts, questions, any comments? Don't be shy. Ask. No question is a silly question.
You may ask.
No comment is a silly comment.
Later, no problem.
Yeah. So also, Vivekji, what would you say, like, you know, when we do get like that and we are putting in our efforts, you know, we're all doing that, we're all putting in our efforts, and sometimes we just feel like it's a really long journey, or it's you know, we're running out of juice, we're running out of that energy. What do you suggest? Do we then remind ourselves that, you know, good is there, we just can't see it?
Well, we have to see in this situation that is your efforts are really sincere enough. Question yourself. If you are thinking something else, saying something else, doing something else, and then you are thinking the result should come as per your thinking, it's not going to happen. If whatever you think, same you speak, same you do in action, then success or whatever result you may desire is very small thing. You may get more than that. This is my experience in life. This is my practical experience in life. But sometimes you are confused. So you are thinking, should I do this, not do this, do this, not this way, that way, this, that. And you want everything you should get. It's not going to happen. If you will be flying in the air in aeroplane, you will not be able to touch the ground. Or if you are touching the ground or going on the road, you can't fly. You don't get both at the same time. You cannot get both at the same time. No? Can you get?
Right. So having conviction, having the true intention, the passion, the heart behind what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to do is where it's at.
Yes. So man, vachan and karma, three things. Mind, speaking and action. And should be in same line to achieve anything. In same line, one line. Most of the time what we do is that we are saying something else, thinking something else and doing something else. And then we think it's not happening, this is not happening. Ask yourself, are your efforts sincere enough? Ask yourself.
Right.
Not to anyone else.
And maybe you can repeat those three things, because I think they're pretty important for people to.
Man, vachan and karma. Mind, speaking and doing. Doing means action through your body.
Mind, speaking, and action.
Right. These are the three things should be in one line.
Right.
When they are in one line, then things happen the way you want and even more than with the way you want. But whenever one is not aligned, you see, you drive a car, you do the alignment of the wheel, alignment. And when alignment is happening, then your car is going very nice in one direction, is not going here and there. Even if you brake, it will stop right there. If it is not aligned, it may skid. So alignment is necessary in these three things.
I think that's a great takeaway from today.
Yes.
Mind, speech, and action.
Yes, mind, speech, and action.
Any thoughts, anybody? Any questions? Any comments? We have a quiet group today.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yes, it's okay. You know, sometimes just listening and absorbing it all is powerful for what you need, and maybe that's what you need. It doesn't always have to be a question and answer. Okay, well, I think then we'll leave it at that. We'll definitely have more Gita talks coming up. And you can join us in our next webinar when we are able to get that happening and announce that. But in the meantime, we'll wrap up with these good thoughts that, leave you with good speech, good thinking, and good action. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time for more talks on Gita and much more. Thank you. Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.